Paris, bonjour.
Hello, this is Greg Prado calling for Iggy Pop.
Yes, just a moment, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Who's calling, please?
Oh, Greg Prado.
Just a moment, Mr. Prado.
Sure, thank you.
Hello.
Yes, hello, is this Iggy?
Yeah, is that Greg?
Yes, hey Iggy, this is Greg Prado calling. I'm calling from New York, and I write for Classic Rock Magazine. How's it going?
Hey, all right, thanks.
Cool. Yeah, I just want to say it's cool to speak with you because I've been a long-time fan of your music, so it's cool to get an opportunity to speak with you on the phone.
Hey, all right.
Cool. Yeah, so this is going to be, like I said, for Classic Rock Magazine. They have a monthly feature in the back that's called Back Pages, and they pick a pretty big name, and they ask a certain set of questions. And I'm going to ask you that, and also questions about the new Stooges book, and also the Stooges DVD that's coming out.
Well, all right.
Cool. Yeah, so would you say that the new Stooges book, Head On, would you consider it the definitive Stooges book so far?
I have no idea. You know, Brett's a pretty nice guy, and this, as I understand it, this is an updating of a book he's already written on us that's been around for some time.
Yeah.
And I can't remember. I've read a lot of things about us and me in my life, and they tend to just fly through my system.
Right.
I don't remember it. I remember it being focused mostly on the music and the public social concept. I thought it was a good approach.
Okay.
And I haven't read. I don't think I haven't read the new book, so I don't know.
Okay.
But I talked to him.
Okay.
And he was nice enough to come to our show in April to Ron.
Okay, cool. And also,
I tell you what, you mentioned the other stuff I'm gonna plug our West Coast tour in America. We're playing the Hollywood Palladium.
Okay.
September 7th.
Okay.
Las Vegas on the 10th.
Okay.
And San Francisco on the 12th and 13th.
Okay, cool. And are you going to be playing Raw Power in its full entirety at those shows?
We play all the songs, but we don't play them as we're just playing what we play now. We play Raw Power, Funhouse, the Stooges, bootlegs, rarities,
right,
all sorts of stuff.
Okay. Yeah, because when you say the rarities, is there any plans to re-record some of those songs from the early '70s that didn't come out, like Head On and stuff like that?
Well, I think once we sort of can settle down, once we all decide to get into a studio and mix it up, then I would certainly be somebody who would say, when there was an extra 20 minutes, I'd say, come on, let's just play, Wet My Bed.
Right. Right.
Come on.
Right.
So I would be the big agitator for that.
Right. Right. Yeah, and then also with the forthcoming Stooges DVD, how is it being interviewed by Stooges fans for that DVD?
It's always tough being interviewed later. It's not tough at the time, and then later you sort of go. So it differed in that they wanted, surprisingly, a lot of the questions were very, very, the vernacular term is really, really anal. Really, really specific little things they wanted to know about why this or why did you have all fade outs on one album, but on the other album you had all endings, and things of this nature, and that part was pretty refreshing.
Right. Okay, cool. And I'm curious, too, at the time that Raw Power came out, did you think that the album was going to be huge, or what exactly did you think of the album at the time when it was originally released?
I never thought ever, when I never started out as a musician to be huge. I never thought the Stooges could be or should be huge. I foolishly didn't recognize that it was, I saw no reason to be huge.
Right.
I thought it would be just good enough to be really, really liked by, in my mind, I had the number 50,000. When we started, I thought, I'll bet there are 50,000 people in the world who'd be interested in this and enjoy it.
Right.
And that should surely be enough to do all sorts of things, you know? So, when we made Raw Power, I just knew that it was so fucking good that I knew somehow everybody would just have to love it and recognize its quality, but especially people who I regarded as pure, who now would be called, they would be like either inmates, children, you know, fringe elements, extremists. So I didn't know it was going to take 40 years. That was like the little problem, you know. I really didn't realize that. But, you know, it became apparent little by little that we were definitely, we were bucking the trends, and the trends were already on their way down. The music was getting worse, and then it continued to get really awful through the 80s, and then down. It just sunk lower and lower and lower till. You know, till as I read, I read an interview the other day with Beck and Stephen Malcolmus just looking at each other saying, in essence, everything was fine until we had to start competing with Beyonce and Britney Spears. Which is another way of saying that basically, you know, white music got so boring they had to bring in professionals. They had to bring in Mouseketeers to give it any entertainment value whatsoever, you know. So I don't know. You know, there's a lot to. But anyway, that's my answer.
Okay. Yeah, and then there's a few set questions that they pretty much ask everyone every month, and that is, looking back, what is your greatest regret?
Well,
that's a pretty tough question.
Well, this is for Classic Rock, the English magazine.
Yep. That's what this is.
There was a form of speed widely available in England in the 70s called Robin's Egg Blues. That was certainly a major regret. Also, I should have stayed away from the cough syrup.
What is the secret of success?
Secret of success?
Yes.
I always remember where I came from.
Okay. Cool. And what would you say was the lowest point of your career looking back?
Greg, there's been so many. That was a good answer.
And looking back, what was your biggest waste of money?
My biggest what?
Biggest waste of money.
Several of the jackets with padded shoulders that I purchased in the mid '80s.
Okay. And what were you like at school?
I was a nice little kid with nerd tendencies. And a dangerous streak of artistic melancholia.
Okay. And where do you stand politically?
Oh dear. I'm a humanist.
Okay. And what in your life are you most proud of?
My 20 studio albums.
Cool. Very cool. Okay, and then just the last question I have, something I've always been curious to find out. Do you have any memories of when the Stooges in New Year's Eve '73 played a show at the Academy of Music, and Blue Oyster Cult and also Kiss opened up? I've always been curious. Did you happen to see Kiss or Blue Oyster Cult, and what exactly did you think of them? Because that was, I guess, early. That was one of Kiss's earliest shows, I believe.
Actually, Blue Oyster Cult headlined.
Okay.
Kiss opened,
right,
and we were in the second bill place.
Okay.
I don't remember much about Blue Oyster Cult because I've always thought they were really boring.
Okay.
And just that whole sort of there's an American and then an Anglo strain of I don't know, some sort of conscious metal or art rock or whatever it is that I just never went for. The Kiss I remember vividly, and I was up in the balcony. I was bidden to watch them by somebody in an agency, and what I remember about it more than anything else was here they were third on the bill at a filthy old rat hole theater, and they came out, and down from the top of the proscenium descended this enormous name, an enormous logo of whirling platinum starlights spelling out their name and spitting sparks. And the thing was like, I don't know, the thing must have been like 10 yards long by 8 feet high.
Right.
It was Kiss. Right. And it must have weighed enough to have annihilated the entire group and all their crew if it had fallen. And I thought, geez, there's some big bucks behind this.
Right.
I thought they're going to go.
Right.
That's what I immediately could see. I saw a little bit of one song. The other thing I thought was, hey, that's cheating. That's not really a show to just stand there and wobble back and forth on enormous platform heels. I just thought that was their whole, and then their masks and everything. But I thought immediately, this is going to really go.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, great. And those are all the questions I have. So I just want to say thanks again for taking the time out. It was definitely great speaking with you.
Hey, you betcha.
Thanks, Iggy. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.